Hey, folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we return to Love Bites with another track off Electric Pentagram called Golden Destination. I just reviewed an interview that was done by Ramseen of Love Bites' Miho and Midori back in 2019, and they were talking about Clockwork Immortality, which was the new album at that point. And I went through and I took a look at all the stuff that we've already done, and the vast majority of the album we've gone through at this point. And I saw Electric Pentagram's track list too, because that was right after. And I thought maybe we had gone through everything with the possible exception of this song. And I think also Dancing with the Devil we haven't done. But I think everything else we have. So we are working our way through the Love Bites catalog. And there may come a day we want to start looking at certain tracks again from a different setting, whether or not the music video or the live. But anyway, I thought it would be fun to look at this one. This is from the Live in Tokyo 2020 Five of a Kind DVD. That's a great show. We've seen a few things from there before. Let's go ahead and take a look.
As we said into a town of Israels of the hate, in the hands of blind tiger, shout in a silent house to find the right reason we try. If we don't, we will not make it a heaven. There's the best, there's nothing to lose. Where there is a way. We are soldiers, but in fighter. We are children, like that. We have no rest for this one. Guys, we are no sin.
was kind of an abrupt end, but yeah. Interesting song.
Yeah, great song. And, it's just the song itself. There's a double guitar solos, and then there's Asami, always there with the high flying vocals. And she's, just a presentation of it all. She's like she's rallying the troops into battle or something like that. Another song that I heard overwhelmingly for some reason was, this is just my own head, I guess, but Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden. I know I talk a lot about Iron Maiden here, and I think a lot of their early stuff is influenced by Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I think their whole catalog, actually, there's Iron Maiden reference. It's gotten a little bit less out in front, I guess. And it's just the same well that they and many other bands kind of drink from, especially from Japan, I think, where they look at the British new wave of heavy metal that came around in the late 70s, early 80s, and borrow from them. That's kind of the basic root of their sound. So first of all, it's a celebration to me, just the fact that anybody's doing that these days, because that was 45 years ago. So that means that it's now recognized as a classic genre. That's what I think. And so they do an expert job of it. And yeah, I was thinking Iron Maiden too. Run to the Hills works. I was thinking maybe something on Power Slave again, but really, it doesn't matter. One of those early records. It does sound like something off of there. Yeah, I love the dual leads. I know that they're constructed carefully and tend to they go through a couple of the same phrase so that each guitarist can kind of work against the same thing. And then there is a turning point at some point, and then it's almost like a bridge. And then you go back into the actual singing parts after that. Yeah, it's clever. It works. It's appropriate to this band. I also found myself transfixed by Miho's right hand on the bass guitar. I was watching her go like this the whole time, And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. She's probably got some very seriously strong fingers. It's funny, I got to hear her speak for the first time and just kind of see her, field questions a bit. And she seems very nice. She seems like a badass up there, but, just like the others, they're all very polite and they seem a joy to be around. Let's go ahead and look at the words for a second.
Okay.
Search for the answer as we sail into eternal distance, basically. So basically, off into the horizon. Here we go. Our fate in the hands of blind chance. So we don't know what's going to happen. Shout in the silence to find the right reason we strive. Why are we doing this? If we don't, we may not make it out alive. You got to find that reason, and then you got to be able to get behind it. Otherwise, you're going to go down in battle because, what are you fighting for anyway? There's no faith. There's nothing to lose. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, so you're right, Adrian. We are soldiers born in fortune, chosen by fate, have no regret for this world that is full of silly desire. Indeed it is. We will choose our destination. We will take it and believe it. I don't want to live feeling like I'm dead. Get ready, aim, fire. A matter of my life, a matter of my death, a matter of my life and death. And actually, this is pretty close to what I thought they were singing about, And it's not unlike a lot of the other lyric sheets, but it's cool. It's the same thing. It's like, here we go. We've got a crisis to deal with here. We've got to have the right mindset. We've got to know what we're fighting for. And by golly, we're going to do okay here, regardless of what happens, Just battle to the death if you have to.
That makes sense. That's kind of what I've come to expect from Love Bites is, these motivational songs. And
Yeah. Well, this particular album, too, is a lot like that. I mean,
yeah.
It's got the song before it is Holy War. The one before that, it starts the album, Thunder Vengeance. And then the one after this is Raise Some Hell, So, yeah, I mean, it's the theme, really, of the album, it feels, to set the world on fire, So it makes sense. One more thing that I learned from the interview is that they're one of the very few bands you'll see out there wearing all white. To me, it feels like part of their identity, and they own it. I mean, it's theirs now. I don't know anybody else that does it. They found something original that's pretty cool. Plus, the confounding expectations part is always fun. But I think that they are a serious band that we'll be talking about in 10 years, 20 years, and still have the same reverence for them. As noted earlier, we are actually running into the problem now of where we have listened to a lot of Love Bites. There are things that we have not yet heard on many of the albums. If there's anything in particular that you'd like us to check out, let us know below. You can take a look at our Love Bites playlist first, just to make sure we haven't already done it. As a matter of fact, if there's a really great version of any of Love Bites' catalog that maybe we haven't seen yet, even if we've seen the song, by all means, leave that below too, because I think we're open to that. Because we've enjoyed the catalog. We haven't really listened too much beyond the one time that we've heard each song. And so we'd love to go back and check out some of it again in a different setting. So folks, yeah, leave those suggestions below, and of course your thoughts as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right, thanks so much for joining us on this, and we will catch you on the next one. All right, take care, folks.
See you all later.